This is a challenge. In Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25, we have these words. And these commands, I think, are addressed to weaknesses, because sometimes a man can be self-absorbed. In Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25, we have these words, marvelous words, but very appropriate words. And he says, husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself for her, that he might sanctify and cleanse her with the washing of water by the word, that he might present her to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle, or any such thing, but that she should be holy and without blemish. So husbands ought to love their own wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself, for no one ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes and cleanses it. Take care of your body, just as the Lord does the church. For we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones. For this reason a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife. Why? Because they're one flesh, one bone. And the two shall become one flesh. That's the ideal. This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the church. Nevertheless, let each one of you in particular so love his own wife as himself, and let the wife see that she respects her husband. As a Christian father, gentlemen, I encourage you, love your wife sacrificially. This is something that's going to require great prayer on your part, because if you're like me, you can be self-centered, and you can put other things before your wife, and it's a mistake. 1 Corinthians 13 tells us what love's about. How do I love my wife sacrificially? Well, 1 Corinthians 13 tells us that we are to be patient. Love is patient. What does that word mean? It means calm and uncomplaining endurance under pain. When a man loves a woman, he is to be patient, calm, and uncomplaining endurance under pain. Now, the only way that you're going to do that successfully on a regular basis is to ask God to help you. Love is kind, a sympathetic attitude toward others, willingness to do well or to give pleasure. Be sympathetic. Be willing to give pleasure in an appropriate measure. Love is not jealous. What is jealous? It's the fear of being replaced. That's a good definition, a very working definition. Jealousy is the fear of being replaced. Love is not jealous. Don't relate to your wife in a jealous way. Love does not brag. What does that mean, man? Don't speak exaggeratedly about yourself. Particularly when you're with another couple and you're talking about yourself and your wife is thinking, boy, that's just not true, and you're going on and on. Don't speak exaggeratedly about yourself. Love doesn't brag. It's not a good thing. Not a good thing. Love is not arrogant. It doesn't make unwarranted claims to superiority. We are not to be arrogant. Of all virtues, we are to be humble. I like this story here, told of a prince. I don't know if this is true or not, but it does illustrate the point that his family had been captured by an enemy king and brought before the king. And the prisoner was asked, the husband, the whole family was there, what will you give me if I release you? Half of my wealth, was the prince's reply. And if I release your children, everything I possess. And what if I release your wife? For her, your majesty, I will give myself. Well, the king was so moved by the prince's devotion that he released them all. Now that's a good illustration. And I like that. Ah, beloved, we're in this together. None of us are perfect. Even God struggled with some rebellious children. But God gives us these graces. Know Christ as your Savior. Spend time with your family. Be certain that you praise your children. Be certain that you discipline your children. Love your wife sacrificially. Pray that God gives you the grace to do that. Remember, God is patient. A little boy came to me one night to get his goodnight kiss. Beside my chair one night, he raised an eager face to me, a face with love alight. And as I gathered in my arms the son God gave to me, I thanked the lad for being good and hope he'd always be. I mean, which father doesn't want his son to be good? His little arms crept around my neck, and then I heard him say, for simple words I can't forget, for words that made me pray. They turned a mirror on my soul, on secrets no one knew. They startled me, I heard them, yet he said, I'll be like you. Amen. I like the story of a man who was headed down to the bar in the snow. And behind him, his son was following him and said, Father, look, Dad, I'm following in your steps. Let me say, a Christian father mirrors the Heavenly Father. This is not a time in which we're trying to seek perfection here. God gives us grace. Most certainly, I know in my own life. But pray that God will continue to strive to be a Christian father in a pagan society that's trying to make us all one, no distinction between male or female, trying to make us just one big, happy little community, which isn't going to occur, but that's the big push. We, however, in the church make the distinction. There's the dignity of motherhood, there's the dignity of being a father, there's the blessing and beauty of the family, and we want to preserve that, and that's the goal that we strive for. Let's pray together.